The leadership advantage. How small wins build big momentum. Why winning feels small before it becomes significant. Every leader wants momentum. Everyone loves progress that feels fast, visible, unstoppable. But most momentum doesn't start with fireworks. It starts quietly. Momentum usually begins in a meeting no one notices, in a decision you almost dismissed, in a habit you repeated when no one was watching. Big wins look glamorous in hindsight, but behind every visible victory are 100 unseen moments of discipline that didn't look like winning at all. That's the paradox of leadership momentum. You rarely feel it when it starts. You recognize it only after it's been building quietly beneath your feet. And because of that, most leaders quit right before compounding begins. They misread slow progress as no progress. They underestimate the force of small, consistent decisions. They want the rush of massive wins, without the patience of micro wins. But here's the truth. The leaders who dominate long-term aren't addicted to big wins. They're addicted to forward motion. They understand that consistency compounds faster than intensity. They understand that momentum doesn't arrive fully formed. It's built brick by brick, behavior by behavior, standard by standard. Today, we're going to talk about how you build that kind of leadership momentum. Not hype momentum, not motivational momentum, but real momentum. The kind that sustains teams, outlasts setbacks, and builds legacy. We'll break down the 5 shifts that create unstoppable leadership momentum. The kind that keeps expanding long after the spark fades. Let's begin. Shift number 5. The shift from outcome obsession to progress recognition. Leaders love results, metrics, targets, deliverables. But an obsession with outcomes sometimes kills the very energy that produces them. Why? Because outcomes are lag indicators. They tell you what already happened. Momentum lives in lead indicators, the actions you repeat before the scoreboard moves. If you only celebrate the finish line, your team will burn out halfway through the race. If you recognize progress, they'll accelerate toward the finish line without waiting for applause. The most effective leaders train themselves, and their teams, to see progress as success. They reward direction before perfection. They celebrate improvement, not just achievement. They build a culture where micro wins matter. When people know their small steps are seen, they take more steps. And that's how movement turns into momentum. Leadership mindset reflection. Pause the video here and think, where have you been withholding recognition because the result wasn't final yet? Who on your team needs to hear, you're moving the needle, keep going? Write their name. Send that message today. Shift number 4, the shift from speed to rhythm. Speed looks productive. Rhythm is productive. Speed drains, but rhythm sustains. Momentum isn't about how fast you go once. It's about how long you can keep the cadence. Most leaders sprint, then stall. They go all in for a week, then burn out for a month. But high momentum leaders understand the power of rhythm, predictable effort, steady energy, compounding return. Rhythm doesn't mean laziness. It means sustainability. It's the beat that keeps progress alive when motivation fluctuates. Think of a drummer setting tempo for a band. If the drummer speeds up and slows down constantly, the entire group loses flow. Your leadership rhythm works the same way. You set the tempo others move to. Set it too frantic, people collapse. Set it too casual, people drift. Set it consistent, people thrive. Rhythm creates psychological safety for performance. People trust what's predictable. Leadership mindset. Reflection. What's one leadership habit you need to make rhythmic, not sporadic? Maybe it's feedback, planning, coaching, reflection. Choose one and give it a beat. Make it predictable, not optional. Shift number 3, the shift from big goals to small systems. Goals create direction. Systems create momentum. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Every championship culture has clear goals, but what makes them unstoppable is their daily structure. The meetings, the check-ins, the routines, the non-negotiables. Most leaders treat systems like administration. Elite leaders treat systems like acceleration. Because every time you remove friction from a repeated process, you release energy for creativity and execution. Think of momentum like a flywheel. Each rotation gets easier once the wheel is in motion, but only if you keep applying consistent pressure. Systems are the mechanism that keep pressure applied even when motivation fades. A strong system turns, "I have to push again," into "the wheel is already turning." That's what high momentum leadership looks like. Effort that builds itself. Leadership mindset. Reflection. Where is inconsistency stealing your momentum? What system, even a simple checklist, meeting rhythm, or morning ritual, could remove decision fatigue and keep progress moving automatically? Shift number 2. The shift from solo drive to shared momentum. Leadership momentum isn't meant to be carried alone. When only the leader has energy, the team burns out trying to match it. When momentum is shared, everyone becomes a contributor to velocity. The best leaders design for collective energy. They involve people in building the process, not just executing it. They distribute ownership, and in doing so, multiply investment. Shared momentum means the mission is no longer yours. It's ours, and ours travels farther. The practical version of this looks simple but powerful. Involve people early in problem solving. Celebrate contributions publicly. Use we language more than I. Build traditions that remind everyone why we do this. Momentum multiplies when participation replaces permission. Leadership mindset reflection. Do you have a team that moves with you, or one that waits for you? What's one step you can take this week to transfer momentum from you to them? Shift number 1. The shift from winning once to winning repeatedly. The hardest part of success isn't the first win, it's sustaining it. Big wins feel validating, but they can create complacency. The dopamine of achievement tricks leaders into relaxing instead of reinforcing. That's why elite leaders treat every win as a setup, not a summit. Momentum doesn't come from what you achieve. It comes from what you repeat after you achieve. Winning cultures don't idolize victory. They institutionalize it. They extract the behaviors that produce the win, document them, teach them, and run them again. The moment you can explain why you won, you can replicate it. Replication builds reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust builds culture, and culture produces continuous momentum. Leadership mindset reflection. When was the last time you captured the process behind a win? This week, instead of just celebrating success, document the behaviors that made it possible, so you can repeat it on demand. Leadership mindset challenge. This week, practice momentum awareness. At the end of each day, write down 1. One small win you created or recognized. 1 rhythm you reinforced. 1 system you improved. 1 momentum you shared. 1 lesson you'll repeat. You'll be amazed how quickly awareness compounds into acceleration. Momentum isn't built in breakthroughs, it's built in follow-through. If this episode helped you see momentum differently, not as luck, but as leadership, follow and subscribe to Leadership Mindset Daily. Then share it with someone who's ready to move from progress to power. This is Leadership Mindset Daily. Mindset matters. Leadership matters. You matter. Follow Leadership Mindset Daily on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and X for your daily dose of proven leadership development tips, tricks, and techniques. See you tomorrow.